What is up, 208 family? Good to see you guys again. Here we are, Sunday evening. Actually, a little bit earlier than normal. Usually we're 8:30. Today we're 7:30, at least our time. It is National Camera Day, Justin. So take a picture of this one. We have plenty to talk about with some bonuses in it. We're going to talk NFC North Breakdown and a few players you should be drafting and some players you should not be drafting in this wild, wild conference. Let's get started right now. How are you, my friend? How is it going in your neck of the woods?
Good. We had wrestling camp this week in Caldwell, so the whole University of Missouri team comes down. We were there for about 5 days, probably 6 to 8 hours of wrestling. So it was really good. Had a really good time. One of my kids got, if anybody's familiar with wrestling, Keegan O'Toole. He's a 2-time national champ, 5-time All-American. One of my kids got his world championship shoes. So it was pretty cool.
Oh, fantastic. That's outstanding. Kudos. Yeah, we are also on break for football. We're just hanging out for the rest of the week through the holidays. So it's nice to have a little downtime. But everybody, thanks for tuning in. Again, I did mention it is National Camera Day. I'm going to start doing these holidays and whatnot, these random holidays. But you want to take a picture of this title, you guys. This is a difficult one when you start looking at the NFC North. It is kind of wild, and maybe it won't turn out like we think it will, but we're going to break it down for you right now, right after Justin does a little bit of news.
What's going on?
So there wasn't a lot of news. Like, this is very much that dead period time between like training camp when it really opens up and we start to see players report to camp. But the only big thing was Justin Tucker got handed down his 10-game suspension. So again, he's probably not rosterable. I don't think most leagues should have a kicker, but that's just my opinion. So
yeah, it's kickers are on fantasy football teams are kind of like the old school non-PPR. They're just fading away, right? Yep. Fading away. So
for sure.
Anyway. Oh, good call out there. I'm glad you brought that up. We got to get a little background music. Let me get that going. I don't know why I always forget that, but let's do a little bit of rock today. There we go. We'll get a little background going. I knew it seemed awful quiet. All right. Let's get right into it. So the NFC North, and you guys know I'm a Bears fan, so we're going to talk about it. I'm going to save that for last. But before we do, make sure you subscribe, hit the like button, file on in. Helps out the channel, and we just love talking ball. We love talking football, all different levels, fantasy for sure. We want you guys to win your league and just dominate, right? There's nothing like having bragging rights over your fantasy football leagues, whether it's dynasty, redraft, whatever it is. It's so much fun. So let's jump into it right now. Justin, and you have starting off with the Vikings here, and they went from 14-3 last year. They were a number 5 seed. They lost to the Rams. And you have them dipping actually quite a bit in 2025 to 8-9. Give us your thoughts behind that.
This division's hard. Me and Matt, we're talking pre-show. Like this division's super similar to the AFC West, but I do think it is probably a little bit stronger. All these teams I think are going to be really tough. I think this division is. It kind of feels like the old school AFC North where they're just going to beat the crap out of each other. Like I just don't know if any team's going to go 6-0 in division. I don't think anybody's going to sweep everybody. I think it's going to be a lot of back and forth stuff. The JJ McCarthy stuff, it'll be interesting if he can bring that quarterback play to the level Sam Darnold did play for the majority of the season. We saw kind of that downward spiral at the very end, but I mean they won 14 games. I think that was a pretty big surprise for a lot of people. Again, I just think people are this team's going to beat each other up. I realistically could see any team winning this division, but this is how I saw it. So
yeah, not too many predicted Mr. Sam Darnold to lead the Vikings, but he's now gone. We have JJ. Here are our rankings. Again, this comes from our friends over at Fantasy Pros. Again, I did these earlier this morning, so they shouldn't have changed very much when I did the other ones. The last show, they're a little bit off, but position rank is in green, ADP is in red, and then the current draft position of where you can get him. Let's start off with JJ McCarthy. I think he is ranked, his position rank's 20, his ADP is 125, and you can get him in the 11th round. Now, some will say if Sam Darnold can do it, why not JJ McCarthy? Your thoughts on that, Justin?
Yeah, I totally get it. Kevin O'Connell is that guy. He's probably one of the 5 best coaches in the NFL. But JJ McCarthy, again, for all intents and purposes, is a rookie this year. He did not play a snap coming off an injury. Again, the injury was in the preseason, so I'm not super worried about it. Again, he has enough weapons around him. This Vikings O-line was really revamped, but I'll talk about that when we get to the run game a little bit. But I think JJ McCarthy in Dynasty things, if you can buy him for cheap, I think you should go out and buy him cheap.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know if you'll be getting him for super cheap, but in Superflex, you probably have him as a third quarterback. But if for purposes of redraft, I don't know if people are taking him. I don't know. I mean, he's probably not on my radar to take. It's hard to say, man, Justin Jefferson's quarterback proof, and if he's quarterback proof, McCarthy's going to get his. There's other quarterbacks I like much better, but it would not surprise me if JJ McCarthy did really well this year in that offense. We'll see. I do like him. I think he's a talented kid, straight out of Michigan, and I like his interaction with his players for sure. So his teammates, we'll see how they bring him on. So for me, I'm probably passing. Justin, you pass.
I'd probably pass it too. He has a little bit of rushing upside. At Michigan, he had 70 attempts his sophomore year, 64 attempts. But with rushing and college football, they count sack yards as rushing. So, like, the numbers are kind of construed a little bit. But he does run the ball a little bit. So I think that gives him a higher floor. But I would like to see it first. I was really hesitant on Jay Daniels last year just because I want to see it first before I start taking rookie quarterbacks. It's something that I kind of avoid. Again, I get it. JJ will be in his second year. He hasn't played a snap though. So,
yep, fair. Moving on to running backs for the Vikings, we have Aaron Jones and Jordan Mason, a newly acquired Mason. Aaron Jones is position ranked 27, 77 is an ADP. You can get him in the 7th round, whereas Jordan Mason's 34 ranked and 106 in ADP, and you get him in the 9th round. Justin, do you want either one of these running backs this year?
All right. So this is my breakout, my hot take, I guess, kind of combined together. I think Jordan Mason is a must-draft guy. He is a must-draft for insurance purposes. They invested a lot in this O-line. So they brought in Christian Darrisaw, who's probably one of the most underrated left tackles. He got hurt. He gets to come back. Very good young tackle. They drafted the kid out of Ohio State, Donovan Jackson. They got both of Indianapolis's center and right guard, and then Brian O'Neill, who's been a pretty good right tackle for them. So it feels like they invested in very run-heavy guys. Ryan Kelly has always been a above-average center. Donovan Jackson comes in as like a road grader. It seems like they want to run the ball a little bit, protect JJ a little bit with the run game. Again, Aaron Jones going into this age 31 season. Like, we all know the cliff, except for Derrick Henry. This does not apply to Derrick Henry. He has no cliff. He will be great forever. I just believe that. But I really think they went out and got Jordan Mason for a reason, for him to really tout the ball. I think Aaron Jones will be kind of similar to that Washington Commanders backfield, where Eckler and Jones will kind of play the pass game role, and then Jordan Mason and Brian Robinson will play that run game role. So, like, standard leagues, half PPR leagues, I really like Jordan Mason this year.
I do too. I don't like Jones. I'm with you, and I'm not going to talk about Mason because you crushed it. Jones, 30 years old. He's right there. I'm not at the 7th round. I would much rather have Mason. I really think he'll take over that backfield. I think there's lots of discussion around it too. If you want to, if you really like both, I think you have to handcuff them. You got to take one or the other, right? So I'm no thanks for Jones, and I'll take Mason in that range. I wanted to pull up just real quick Jones's stats from last year: 255 carries, 1,000 yards, 5 TDs. He's 30 years old. I don't think he's going to get another 255 carries. If anything, they'll get Mason involved for sure. And I'm not so sure Ty Chandler's all the way out, but I do like Mason much, much more. So moving on to wide receiver, Justin Jefferson. That's an easy one. The question I have for you, Justin, right? Jefferson's been quarterback proof for quite a while. His ADP is 3, current position is 2. You have to draft him in the first. My question for you is, would you rather have CeeDee Lamb or Justin Jefferson at the number 3 pick?
It's probably still Justin Jefferson for me. Like, he's just so good at what he does. He's definitely one of the better receivers that I've seen. Again, I'd probably take Bijan over him. I might take Jetty over him at this rate. Like, I really like the running backs a lot. Like that, Jetty's my hot take this year. I think he should go top 5. But
fair enough.
I think Chase is the one. I think that 2 to 6 spot could go pretty much anywhere.
Yeah, I'm with you. Although I have no problems taking Lamb. I almost like Lamb a little bit better with the setup that they have in Dallas. I think Lamb could actually finish number 1 wide receiver this year. So I'm probably leaning a little bit more Lamb over Jefferson, but I can certainly take it if you want to go for Jefferson. Addison, give us your hot take on Addison. Naylor is kind of out of the mix for this draft, but thoughts on Addison?
Yeah, this receiving core is definitely a 3-headed monster with Hawkinson adding to that. I don't think the wide receiver 3 is going to do much. But one thing to keep in mind, and I'm kind of out on Addison this year completely, he will get suspended. They said it's probably going to be anywhere from 3 to 6 games, probably 3 games. So you're going to be out on him the first 3 weeks no matter what. He did miss a few games last year. He missed 2. Not like an overwhelming season. He had about, let's see, what was his? Yeah, 99 targets, 63 receptions, 875 yards, and 9 touchdowns. He's very much a touchdown merchant, which is kind of confusing because he is a smaller guy at 5'11", 175. Again, I'm kind of out. I don't see like a boomer bust for me. But yeah, I'm super out on Addison this year.
I agree. Yeah, Bob, thanks for joining. So I have a comment here. Let me show Bob. It says, thanks for the live. You bet, Bob. Good to see you. Glad you're on board with us. Ask questions along the way as we go, or leave a comment. We'll get you dialed in. Love having you guys join. I'm with you on Addison. I'm probably out. I'm not going to take him in the 6th round. Much other players I'd rather have. TJ Hawkinson.
Matt, can you tell me who's around Addison at that weight, at that spot?
I sure can. Let me get there real fast. So like Sam Laporte is there, Roma Dunze is there, Patrick Mahomes is there, Calvin Ridley, Travis Hunter, right there. There's Deebo Samuel.
I like Calvin.
Caleb Johnson.
We talked about that a little bit earlier. I like Caleb and I like Travis Hunter a lot there. So.
Yep, agreed. TJ Hawkinson. I wanted to touch on TJ Hawkinson real briefly. He's position 5. His ADP is 84. He's a 7th round. And I think we have both talked already about tight ends. The top 3 or so, you got to get early. Then you can really, really wait on tight end. Hawkinson one for me is the rookie tight end tie, or the rookie quarterback tie, right? It's the dump off with JJ. Look what he did with Colston Loveland, right, in Michigan. I think with the veteran tight end there, he might be a little bit higher, and 7th round might be a good value if you wanted to wait. Thoughts on that?
Yeah, it feels like Hawkinson's been in the league forever. He's still only 27, which is like baby age for tight end if you really look at it. Remember, he tore his ACL pretty late 2 years ago, came back in week 9. Okay, he still had some good numbers here. He had 62 targets, 41 receptions, 455 yards. Again, now he's almost a year and a half, 2 years off that ACL. We should see a little bit of a jump. He's probably one of the more safer picks at tight end. Again, if that's your build after the Kittles, after the Bowers, after McBride, if you want some stability there, kind of like feels like Mark Andrews about 2-3 years ago, where he's going to be super stable for you week to week. He's probably a pretty good pickup, like Matt said. He probably hit it right on the head. Like JJ's probably going to rely on that tight end. Justin Jefferson with Addison gone, and then that run game with that new and improved offensive line.
Yep. Well stated. Well stated. Moving on to our second team, the Packers. Last year in 2024, they were 11-6. They were number 7 and lost in the first round to the Eagles, which actually was a pretty tight game, if I recall. This year, Justin, you have them predicted 11-6 and making the playoffs again.
Yeah, man, I just don't see they don't have a weakness. Like, I love their defense. Like, I think Quay Walker's gonna bust on the scene. Xavier McKinney was a revelation for them last year. I just really like them. I don't love their offense. Like, their wide receiver group is the most confusing wide receiver group in the NFL. I think one thing to keep in mind where the Packers, I think, can improve this year is Jordan Love got hurt week 1 with that. I think it was his MCL. And then Malik, the kid from Liberty, what's his last name? Willis.
Yeah.
Came in and balled out. I was like, what is going on right now? So, I mean, Matt LaFleur might be that guy. I mean, the coaching in this division is so fun. All offensive guys, like all offensive gurus. So, again, they're going to be really tough to beat. They play really good football. So.
Yep. Awesome. Well, let's jump into those wide receivers, really their roster here. Starting off with QB, you would talk to him just briefly. Love is position 16th, 113 ADP. You can pick him up in the 10th round. My thoughts is I'm probably not high on Love this year. 10th round maybe is a late round flyer. How about you, Justin?
Man, I had Jordan Love in my expansion dynasty league a couple years ago, and I held on to him for 4 years. In his first year as starter, man, he blew up. Like, he was the quarterback 5, threw for 4,100 yards, threw 32 touchdowns. He does not run the ball a lot. I don't see him running the ball a ton. He finished as the quarterback 17.5 PPR. I don't think he's ever going to give you anything crazy, but, man, that upside of him finish as a quarterback 5, it feels kind of like that Burrow upside where it's like he's got to throw for 30-plus touchdowns for him to be kind of relevant. And that's a really hard bet as a quarterback to bet on him throwing that many touchdowns, especially in this really tough division where I think the Bears will have a good defense, the Vikings will have a good defense, the Lions will have a good defense. Like, everybody's going to have a top-notch defense. So I'll probably punt on that a little bit, especially with the rushing upside not being there.
Yeah, agreed. Moving on to our running backs, Josh Jacobs and Michael Lloyd. Jacobs, position 10 rank. We're going to talk about why he's there. His ADP is 22, and you have to spend a second round on him, a late second. So understand he had 301 carries last year, 1,300 yards, 15 TDs. He was the workhorse of that offense last year. Just absolutely hand the ball off to him, let him work. They had pretty good point totals too last year, but he has not had any less than 217 rushing carries in the last, 6 years? He's carrying the workload. He's only 27 years old, just had a birthday back in February, but I am a little bit worried about Josh Jacobs. You, Justin, I don't want him in the second round. That's too high.
He's just so consistent, man. I was really praying on his downfall last year, especially after that running back 27 finish. Gosh, man, he's just a good player. I don't know what it is. It seems like he gets 15-plus attempts a game, catches the ball a little bit. If he keeps getting 300 carries, man, you got to bet on it. I think it would be sweet to get him in the third round if you can get him there. Second round again is a little high. Can you tell us who he's going around, Matt?
Yeah, I'll give it. Would you rather have Bucky Irving or Josh Jacobs?
Probably Jacobs, yeah.
Jonathan Taylor or Josh Jacobs?
JT.
Yeah, I mean, and you have T. Higgins, Garrett Wilson behind that, depending on your construct. I'm taking Bucky over Jacobs all day. I want Bucky. I want Bucky over him. Depending on if I got. So if you're a 22nd pick, that means you probably went running back early. Hopefully you were able to get like Gibbs or Bijan, right? So if you wanted to go running back and kind of, fan receivers, you could do that, but it's up to you. That 24 spot would be T. Higgins, maybe Garrett Wilson, JSN's there too. But I would much rather have Bucky. Marshawn Lloyd is, I think, a guy that you have to have. He is 60 in his position, ranked 191. You can pick him up late in the 6th round. I think he's a really good handcuff to Jacobs for, I don't want to say fear of injury, but they're still going to run the ball with Marshawn Lloyd. I think they still have high expectations for him. He just didn't really get much going last year.
Yeah, he was hurt quite a bit. He was one of my guys early last year that I'm just like, please, like, you got to pop a little bit. Or like he's going to be a droppable guy in fantasy and dynasty for me at least. Like he's got to show something that felt like he was always on IR. I think Matt LaFleur, like, hey, we can't see you if you're not on the field. So again, if he has another season like last season, I feel like I'm going to be kind of out. I still think he has a ton of talent, but we'll see.
Moving on to, this is what Justin was referring to, this large congregation of pretty decent wide receivers. Obviously, you see the asterisks there. There's with Golden and Williams, the 2 rookies. But Reed, Golden, Dubs, Williams, Wicks, and I don't even have Christian Watson on here. So it's like, wow. What do you do with these wide receivers, Justin? And I don't think I need to go all of them. I'll tell you, Reed's ADP is position ranked 11th, 88 ADP, and you got to pick him up in the 8th round. Golden is 47, and really only a few spots behind Reed, and you also have to pick him up in the 8th round. Give me your take. Do you want any of these guys? Are they too high to pick? What's your thoughts?
It just seems like Russian roulette for the better part of the term. Like, I don't know who to start, when to start, who's going to have a big game, who's not going to have a big game. It's just really hard. And like Matt mentioned, like, there's not even mentioning Christian Watson, who's probably not going to play this year. He tore his ACL week 18. I doubt we see him this year. If I was to take a bet, it's going to be Wicks, because I'm a Wicks guy. He has everything you want in a wide receiver, but it's not that he can't catch. It feels like he has like concentration lapses where he's like, what am I doing out here? Like, he seems like all his metrics are off the charts. I didn't think Matthew Golden was the 1st round receiver, but like, I always take bet on 1st round receivers. That's kind of my dynasty go-to, is they're drafted in the 1st round, take the draft capital, but he just doesn't seem like a 1st round guy to me. Seems like a one-trick pony. He's not big like BTJ, where he was kind of run the same stuff as BTJ. I feel like the reason he went in the 1st round because the last 3 games that he played with Texas, where he was just balling out. But man, and then Jaden Reed, it just feels like he's a package player, but he's really good. He's a really good receiver, don't get me wrong, but it feels like he's in for like 35% of snaps. So I'm like, because he's not 2 wide receiver sets usually, which is weird. So
it makes me wonder if he will be with Watson out. It's hard to say. I don't know. Reed had 75 targets last year for 857 yards, and I don't know, 6 touchdowns. He had 3 games where he was over 100 yards. So with Watson out, does he fill that role as the lead guy? I think he's the best value out here. I like Wicks for a super late flyer. The kid's super talented. He just has to learn to catch the ball. Golden, I'm off on, and we may be wrong on that, but I'm not high on Golden at all. Williams, I kind of am. I want to keep an eye on him. I do like him, but I don't know if he's draftable.
He's very much Cordell Patterson. He's Cordell Patterson 2.0. If you watch any of his film, he did some crazy stuff at TCU. He is a height, weight, speed freak.
6'4", 222. Right? It's almost like he's replacing Watson. So I'm just curious, right? Keep an eye on him. Put him in your back pocket. Maybe he's a waiver wire guy if he pops off, right? Just keep that in mind. But again, I think what we were trying to say on this, these wide receivers are so many we don't know. The only one I'm comfortable with is Reed in the 8th. The rest of them I'm probably staying away from unless I've got a late round and Wicks is there. So moving on to tight end, Kraft, who is always a crafty player. Give me your thoughts on him. He is 12 position ranked. You get him 129. You have to get him in the 11th round. Justin,
so, I think the biggest thing I'd like to see from the Packers is a lot of 12 personnel, which 12 personnel, the first number is running backs. The second number refers to tight ends, and then you just fill in the blank with wide receivers. So it would be 1 running back, which would probably be Josh Jacobs, 2 tight ends, and Kraft and Musgraves, and then hopefully some combination of Reed plus probably Dobbs and Wicks is my guess. I think these tight ends, both of them, are really good. Kraft finished really well last year. Matt can probably pull up his stats while I talk about both of them. I love Musgraves coming out of Oregon State. and he's just had some injury problems. Someone made the really great analogy that I was listening to a podcast. It felt like the Ravens when they drafted Hayden Hurst in the first round, and they came back in the fourth round or third round and drafted Mark Andrews, and Mark Andrews ended up being that guy instead. So this is the same situation. They drafted Musgraves in the second, and they drafted Kraft in like the fourth or the fifth round. They're both really well. Like Tucker Kraft, super young, had a really good breakout last year. But man, I think Musgraves can be that guy. He's a better athlete. He is huge. He's fast. He is a height, weight, speed mismatch. I think that is the best way personnel they should go. Again, I love Kraft and I love Musgrave this year a lot.
Yeah. Musgrave's going undrafted. He's way, way down there. So most people are kind of off on him. Kraft last year had 50 receptions on 70 targets, 700 yards, and 7 touchdowns. So he's definitely going to lead that tight end crew coming into this year. But yeah, definitely. Again, Justin, let me ask you, because they're really neck and neck, Kraft or Kincaid?
Oh my gosh, Matt, you're tying at me. It's Kincaid. I don't know.
I agree.
Oh, that's a tough one.
Yeah, I get it. I also like Kincaid there. But all right, moving on to our next team here, the Lions. 15-2 last year, surprised a lot of people. Defense got devastated, as we know. Number 1 seed, ended up losing to Commanders right out of the gate, which was shocking and not shocking, I think, at the same time. You have them predicted 10-7, so they lose their offensive coordinator. They come back down to earth a little bit. Is that your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, they lose both their coordinators. I think they probably lost 70% of their staff. They lost a lot of guys with Aaron Glenn leaving and Ben Johnson, and them taking multiple guys from that staff. It'll be interesting to see how what's their coach's name again? I can't remember.
Sorry, who? Which one?
Dan Campbell. There we go.
Oh, Dan Campbell. Gotcha.
It'll be interesting to see how he retools this. He did a lot of promotions from within. They took the Broncos, their OC, but he was really their pass game coordinator. So it'll be interesting to see how they do things.
Agreed. It will be, and I think we'll know early. To be honest, we'll see it right away. Here is our position rankings in ADP. Jared Goff. We have him at 10. Our friends at Fantasy Pros do anyway. ADP 87 and 8th round draft pick. Thoughts on that, Justin?
Yeah, I mean, Jared Goff is very much steady Eddie, coming in with a new OC. He's made some pretty positive remarks about their new OC coming in from Denver. He's worked with him in the past a little bit before he went over to Sean Payton. So, again, very steady Eddie. He's not going to run a lot. He's going to give you hopefully some decent passing with the weapons in this offense, which is probably one of the better ones in the league.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he had 4,600 yards last year, 37 TDs, only 12 interceptions. A lot of that was some check down stuff, but it's easy. I think you and I could throw the ball to Gibbs and just let him cook. It'd be nice. It'll be really, really interesting to see what happens with this offense without their OC, what kind of identity they have. So I don't think Goff would come out and say negative things in the media either. I think that's kind of standard. So we'll see when the proof comes out in the pudding here.
Yeah.
Gibbs, a no-brainer. He is position ranked 6th. ADP is 6th. First round selection. Justin, I'm going to say, is there anybody you would rather have in that 6th spot instead of him? Would you rather have CeeDee Lamb? I'll just go right around him. CeeDee Lamb and Neighbors. Genty's currently going 9th. Would you take, if you were 6th, would you take Genty over Gibbs?
Yes, I would. I would. I'm a homer. I don't know. I just think Genty, like they're gonna have to give him the ball 350 times. Like they have to. Like that's just there's two dudes in that offense. Like in the Lions, there's like 7. So like I am big on Genty again. Hopefully we can get away from the Genty talk. Malik Neighbors is kind of stressing me out a little bit with his foot stuff going on.
Yeah.
CeeDee Lamb is CeeDee Lamb, super consistent. Jahmyr Gibbs just had a huge year last year where
he did.
It feels a little scary coming back. I don't think he'll ever be the workhorse. So I think that's the biggest thing. I did try to trade him in Dynasty this year. I just wanted to get a haul for him just because he did finish so well and try to get off that all I could, but nobody gave me the haul that I wanted. I think he is very much solidified as a top 6 guy. That makes the most sense to me. again, he's gonna do well this year.
Fair enough. You cannot. I want to clarify. You cannot go wrong with Gibbs at the 6th pick. I see him go as early as 3, sometimes late as 8, maybe 9. But Gibbs is good. Moving on to David Montgomery, position rank 23, ADP 66 in the 6th round. I want to be very clear with the Gibbs Montgomery backfield. They 100% can coexist. They're 2 different style of running backs. It's not a committee. It's different. You hear it all the time. Oh, you got to have one, got to have the other, or they can't coexist. Hopefully, you paid attention last year. They certainly can coexist. I think I don't remember if it was last year before, but there were 3 or 4 Lions players that had 10 TDs. The way that offense was set up, 100% they can coexist. They're not going to change Gibbs Montgomery 1-2 combo thing. You'll be fine. I'm 100% getting Montgomery in the 6th round. Don't force it. I like him, but don't reach. I like him a lot. Anything to add to that, Justin?
Yeah, he's a pretty locked and loaded, really high quality RB2. Like he's gonna get his touches and he's gonna get his touchdowns. So
yeah, for sure. Let me just real fast here. I want to take a look at Monty's stats from last year, because I do. Yeah, he had 12 TDs last year, right? So, and that's kind of what he is. 775 yards rushing. He only played in 14 games. Again, that offense is going to be very similar to what we've seen in the past. A little bit different with the OC stuff, but I think the run game will be good. It's the passing game that I believe is going to be a little bit different. St. Brown, position ranked 6th, ADP is 10th. Spending a 1st round on Amon-Ra St. Brown, the sun god. What are your thoughts, Justin?
Yeah, I'm good with it. He is so consistent. Like, he just catches a ton of balls. I mean, look at his targets. 119 his rookie year, 146, 164, 141. He's that guy. Like, don't make it any crazier than it needs to be. He's only 25 still. The crazy thing is how many touchdowns he scored. 22 touchdowns in the last 2 years. Yes. That is nuts. Like
this will be the. Go ahead.
He's just a good player. I mean, that's it. He's just a good player.
Yeah, he is a great player. I just don't know. I have a feeling that may come down a little bit. Maybe just with the new OC. Nothing concrete. It's more of a gut feeling.
Let
me ask you this. Yeah, I mean, gosh, I don't know. I just don't know what I don't know. It's just a gut feeling. Would you rather have Nico or Sun God? Nico's going 2 picks later.
Nico, yeah.
Dude, and that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I think I'd rather go Nico than I would.
Nico was so good last year. Like, people forget because he pulled his hamstring. That one deep post that he ran, I was like, Nico. When Nico came in the league, I'm like, he's not a blaze. Like, he's just not a blaze guy. He killed both the safeties and the corner. They were playing too high, and I was like, oh my gosh, dude, Nico is that dude.
Yep. I'm going to give you 2 more, and the second one of these is going to be tough for you. Again, we are talking if you're in that 10, 11, 12 pick, right?
I know who you're going to say already.
At least one of them you do. I'll save him for last, but what about BTJ? You want BTJ or Amon-Ra?
Yeah, St. Brown.
Yep, I agree. Okay, Drake London or St. Brown.
St. Brown.
Yeah.
Not for me.
Here's what I would do. I would flip it. I would go St. Brown and try to get London right after that. I really feel like London, we've talked about this already. I really feel like London could be a top 3 wide receiver this year. He's so good.
His last 3 games. When we get to the NFC South, guys, his last 3 games are nuts. with Michael Penix.
I agree. Give me your thoughts on JMO. JMO's position ranks 27, ADP 50, and you have to get him in the 5th round. I'm going to let you talk first.
This is Matt's guy, 100%. Like, Matt was all about Jameson Williams. Okay, his ADP, guys, I promise, is going to keep climbing. It will keep climbing, maybe to the 3rd round. And that's not an exaggeration at all. People are going crazy on him this year. I just think it's going to be too high. By the time we are in redraft season, I've seen some crazy trades in Dynasty for Jameson Williams, and I'm still kind of out. Like, he had some good playoff games, man. He had 8 for 5. I mean, 7 for 5 against Chicago for 143. 8 for 5 for 5 for 77, and then 6 for 34. I'm still out on him. I still don't see it. I like my wide receivers to break out earlier.
Yeah, he did finish wide receiver 19 last year. I agree with Justin this year. People are going he's overhyped. I still like JMO, but not for the price tag. The price tag's way, way too high. Last year weekend got him a whole lot cheaper, and I'm just not on the JMO bandwagon with new OC that we don't know about. Right. So I'm off JMO as much as I don't want to be, but I think you got to play smart. You got to be playing chess, right, and not checkers when you're playing against your league mates. So, Tim Patrick, loved the player. Probably not going to do a lot with this group. Justin, tell me about Tesla a little bit.
Gosh,
give me your thoughts on him, whether you like him or not. And he is 101 position rank, 273. He's going right undrafted, but just curious.
So Isaac Tesla, again, I didn't think he would get drafted. I feel like I'm pretty in the know-how when it comes to draft guys. Like, I love the draft. Like, it's one of my favorite times. I've already listed the 2026 stuff. Like, I'm super hyped up for this next class. It's going to be a really fun class, especially with the wide receivers. With the quarterbacks. So he's from Arkansas. He's 6'4", 216, very much a height, weight, speed guy. Again, I don't think he should be drafted in redraft because I think Tim Patrick has got that locked down. At best, he would be the 6th option right now, so I don't think he should be drafted. The thing for Dynasty and Taxi Squad, all that stuff, they gave up 2 third-round draft picks to draft this kid. They went up and got him. So, like, they were pretty desperate for this kid. It seemed they really liked him. With the GM, Brad Holmes, with the Lions, he's drafted really well. You can look at Penny. You can look at Amon-Ra St. Brown. You can look at Gibbs, him trading for Montgomery, him trading for Goff. Those have worked out pretty well. So I think maybe a couple of years, Tim Patrick has got to get off the seat for him to have any semblance. There's just a lot of dudes in this offense, so I just don't think he'll be there. But in Dynasty, I think he's very much, he needs to be rostered because of all the draft capital they gave up to get him.
Yep, agreed. Just keep an eye on him is what we're saying. I don't think he's draftable either. Keep an eye on him. It's one of those ones you just never know. Laporta is the fourth ranked tight end, 68th. Got to get him in the second round. He is another one. That I like. I think he's one you may have to grab early. I think they're going to use him a lot. It'll be St. Brown and Laporta in that offense with Gibbs as well. So, good question from Fan Man. Let's pull it up here. Why are we hung up on the new OC? He was there year 1 with the Lions, and Dan fired Lynn midseason. Leaned on Moore to finish out the year. Then Morton was brought up in Denver to help Nick's half year. It's a very good question.
I think the biggest thing for me is he went to New Orleans. He didn't go to New Orleans. Sorry, he went to Denver, was a pass game coordinator. We all know Sean Payton's run the show there. He was with Bo Nix. Bo Nix had a really good year, all that stuff. Ben Johnson just did some really creative things in the offense. I feel like the precedence that Ben Johnson was calling plays was probably top 3 in the NFL, and you can't just come in and expect that from the next guy. I think that's really hard to do that. Again, with this offense, it should be pretty easy. And I think the one thing people are underestimating is the loss or retirement of their center. I think that could have a huge impact on this O-line. I get it. They have probably the best right tackle in the game. They have Glasgow, Taylor Decker. They're breaking in probably a rookie, Tate Ratledge from Georgia at center. That is not an easy thing to do as a rookie center, to do that. Whether that's the line protections, are they going to put more on Jared Goff's plate to call those line protections, where Frank Ragnow was making those things? Frank Ragnow the last 2 years was the #1 graded center according to PFF. in run blocking, and then he was like a top 10 pass blocking guy. So I think obviously losing your center is a huge thing for them. And then like those expectations to be that great of an offense is hard.
Yeah, I don't mistake what we're saying here. We still like Detroit a lot. You will have many shares of these players on our teams. So don't get me wrong, that we have them projected to make the playoffs. We think they're a good team. I just don't know if they're going to be the same team as last year. We see this all the time with new OCs coming in and some line changes. It happens all the time. So we're kind of like, okay, let's see what happens. I can't just put all my cookies into one jar. You know, scared money doesn't make money. Yeah, they say that, and I understand that. But I am much higher on Gibbs for sure. I think Gibbs is going to get a ton of work, just an absolute ton of work. I like him a lot. They'll do well, fan man. Trust me, we're with you. We're with you.
I think most people agree that Detroit was the best team in the regular season. Like, they were scary. They were churning things out. It's just hard to repeat that success. Like, they lose all these coaches, they bring all these new guys in. I think it's just gonna be hard to replicate. So,
yep, I agree. I just want to look at real quick because Bob had a good question too about how much is Goff getting paid.
That's on Sport Track usually. I got it.
Yep, you got it. Okay, perfect.
Yeah. Let's see. And then so Tate Ratledge again, he was really good. He played guard at Georgia. Again, nothing on that, but it's just a really hard thing for centers to do that. So Goff is getting paid $18 million this year, $55 next year, $40 million the next year. So his contract's still pretty cheap right now. They're probably going to stand him for a couple of years. He has a couple of void years after that. Their potential out is after 2027, so he'll be there probably until he retires. That's what it seems like. I don't think they're going to get rid of Jared Goff anytime soon. He's very much steady Eddie for them.
Yep, agreed. And I just want to throw up, fan man put this up there. Ragnow thing is crazy, no doubt. We're leaning on Tate to play OC. He never played a single snap at center in college. It's an insurance, yeah, but the coaching staff should be good. Oh yeah, 100% agree. I agree. I'm just looking for continuity. I want to see them kind of gel yet. Let's see it, and we're gonna see it real early. They're gonna get it, or it's gonna take a while. But I just want to see it. I'm not there yet, but definitely fan of the Lions. Moving on to all right.
Here we go.
The Chicago Bears. All right, 5-12 last year. Justin, you actually have them as a bigger jump than I do as a Bears fan. But 10-7. Let me tell you about the Bears. This is this is a good lesson. If you've played fantasy football for a long time, all we heard through the whole year was Caleb Williams. He's coming into the best situation ever for any rookie quarterback. This is awesome. It's going to be wonderful. And I kept scratching my head. I'm like, I don't really care for the O-line. And I need to see it. I mean, I guess I'm a Caleb Williams fan. I think I would have rather kept Fields and do some bargaining around the other way, maybe make some trades to get more picks. But this is a good lesson. Don't let anybody tell you how good things are going to be until we see it. The Bears were a disaster last year, 5-12. As much as I like them and I want them to do well, and good Lord, I've been a fan forever and ever and ever. Dang, they need to prove it a little bit. And even with their additions, which I like, and they're improving the O-line, I don't know if they're 10-7 yet. Justin, give me your thoughts.
So, let's talk about the O-line. Who'd they add on the O-line, Matt?
Go ahead. I'm going to give your turn.
Joe Thuney, very good player from Kansas City. They added my boy, Drew Dahlman, who was rated as a top 5 center. His snaps are kind of wonky, but very good. We were 0-6 with him, which was kind of weird because he got hurt for a little bit. They also traded for Jonah Jackson. Very serviceable guard. This O-line was atrocious. Braxton Jones still stares the crap out of me. Darnell Wright was halfway decent last year. Saw a little bit of growth from him. I like that a lot. Ben Johnson's the X factor. You paid him $65 million to come coach Caleb Williams. Let's see what he is. Was it all Dan Campbell just being, let's bite some kneecaps off, and that's why the Lions are so good? Or was Ben Johnson that mad scientist that we all saw throwing friggin' fade routes to Penei Sewell, to Taylor Decker, throwing hook and ladders with his offensive linemen. It's gonna be fun to watch. This offense is scary. They got a lot of dudes.
They do tons and tons of weapons with the new additions in Burton and Loveland. So we shall see. We'll get to Loveland in a minute. But Caleb Williams, position ranked 11, ADP 86th, 8th round pick. I actually like this pick. I think he could be good. Now I believe if I go back, what is he, 8th? I had this pull up and then I had to change the look, but I mean, do you take Kyler? Kyler Murray's there, roughly there. Do you take Caleb over Kyler? Do you take Kyler over Caleb?
Kyler.
Yeah. So yeah, I think there's value. I'm just thinking that the Bears will be better, and I'm hoping. Look, if Caleb doesn't get it this year, there's going to be talk of moving on down the road. If they get another 5-11, whatever, 5-12, whatever it is, then they're behind. I don't mind this. I think we're going to see some big steps from Caleb. That's me kind of guessing here a little bit. Put myself on the line. I don't mind, but I'm not sold on it either.
Yeah.
Swift, go ahead.
The two guys you mentioned, kind of scary career trajectory with the Cardinals and the Jaguars a little bit. So does he take that same trajectory with Kyler and Trevor Lawrence, where they've not lived up to the hype? They've had a few good years, or does he really bounce back and just come back and be that dude? I think the one thing that kind of surprised me with Caleb Williams, he ran the ball a lot. He had 81 rushes for almost 500 yards.
Yes.
I mean,
that was him running for his life and just playing schoolyard ball, what he does. So, look, watching film on him last year and seeing it, there were times he just did not see the throw. And when it came out and he said, coaches didn't watch film with me. Okay, so either he was lying and they did, or coaches didn't watch film, because there were absolutely throws that should have been made. I'm like, how did he not hit that? Like, I could see that, right? I'm like, no, that was the play. That was the design. He should have been able to navigate that, and he didn't. So I would imagine they are working with him now, and Ben Johnson is saying, hey, these are the throws. This is what you're looking for, making the offense a little simpler for him. As talented he is. So we'll see.
I think that was one of the biggest knocks that have been coming out of college, is he likes to play out of structure. And what that means is, like, I want to get out of the pocket, make some moves, it's just scramble drill 90% of the time. That's not how NFL football is. It's, hey, this is a 3-step drop, or this is a 5-step drop, boom, 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 throw the ball to this person. And he doesn't play within structure a lot. So I think that was the biggest knock. I think that's probably what they're going to focus on, is playing within structure. Hey, this is where the ball needs to go. This is your read. You need to get the ball out. It's okay to check it down, all those things.
Yeah. I do like the bargain at 8 there. I will be honest, I would rather have even Dak Prescott a little bit later. So yep. I'm okay with it. I understand if you don't want to take Caleb. I would be on board with that too. Swift, he was 25, position ranked 73 ADP, going in the 7th round. He's being drafted as a number 2 running back, and I don't like it. I'm not sure that I like it. Roschon, we don't know about. The rookie is, I don't think, draftable. Just keep an eye on him. What is that? I can't remember. Manganai or something like that.
Manangai.
Yeah. So I like him, but a little bit early. Going back to Swift, he's probably the running back. I just don't know. Here's why. Ben Johnson let him go in Detroit. Now he's there. I don't know. It doesn't feel right.
Yep. That was my notes. Was he already got off DeAndre Swift? He never gave him more than 150 carries, and he had 150 carries for 5 touchdowns. DeAndre Swift is who he is right now. It's very much similar to Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs is very much a 1,000-yard back. He's probably going to get 10 touchdowns, probably going to catch about 30 balls. DeAndre Swift is, I'm going to probably get you 600 yards and 5 touchdowns. That's just what he is. It is what it is. Like Matt said, he hit it right on the head for me. Ben Johnson already got rid of him. He already let him walk and got David Montgomery instead. So they switched running backs. So I'm totally with Matt. Roschon Johnson is my guy. He has been for 2 years. That is my dude. I'm a
And
big believer in Roshan.
And Roshan's got to make a break here too. So I will tell you. So the Bears also. So I want you to think about the draft a little bit. They were in line. They were going to take Travion Henderson. They were going to select him, and New England took him the pick before, and that's how Burton ended up with the Bears. They just went with next best available. So that, to me, that tells me they were ready to move off of Swift anyway. If they could have got their guy, there really wasn't much out there in free agency by then, or the running backs later in the rookie draft that they wanted. They got Manangai. I'm never going to say that right. Manangai. Yeah,
you got it.
They got him like super late. He was kind of a little explosive running back, but they wanted Travion Henderson for sure. I was like, and I wanted him to go there.
That would have been fun. That would have been fun.
That would have been fun, and I think they probably would have moved on from Swift right then. So
yeah.
Let's get into the wide receivers. DJ Moore, 21 is your position ranked, 39 your ADP. Got to pick him in the 4th round. Odunze, 38, 70 ADP, 6th round. And Burton, who's been dealing with a hamstring issue kind of early on, but we'll see how that goes. 56 in this position ranked, 130 and 11th round. Any of those wide receivers that you like in their ADP or just in general?
Man, if there's 2 guys that I can get in 70% of these redrafts, it's going to be Rome Odunze and it's going to be Roshan this year. I really believe that Ben Johnson is going to put Rome in this Amon-Ra St. Brown slot. And he's going to let him play big slot, kind of like Drake London plays big slot. Just let him run around, play the middle of the field. I think Rome was a little underwhelming. I mean, he had 101 targets and only 54 catches. Like, that's not a good percentage. Is that Caleb's fault? Is that Rome's fault? There's a bunch of highlights where Rome's wide open, just doesn't get the ball. Still had 734 yards, only 3 touchdowns. Rome is huge. He's 6'3", 214 pounds. He is not a small dude. He is a dude. I really like Rome this year. The second-year wide receivers, there's so many good ones. There's so many that you can pick from, whether that's MHJ, Rome, BTJ. I think they're all going to have really, really big leaps. I think it's something you should bet on, especially in the 6th round. I think he will go maybe a little higher, maybe the 5th. But I really like him. DJ Moore is always consistent. I don't know if we'll ever see that year where he had with Fields, where he just like blew up and like finished as like the wide receiver 6 at 1,300 yards, 8 touchdowns. Last year he had 140 targets, 98 receptions, 966 yards. His yards per touch were just not. I mean, his yards per catch just weren't crazy big. So.
As much as I like the Bears, I just don't know who's going to be who in this wide receiver crew. They remind me of the Packers a little bit. They're also talented. Maybe they'll have different packages for them. I don't know. DJ Moore is probably the clear number 1 right now. Burton is that screen guy, speedy guy, just get the ball in his hands. We already know what Odunze is. So I like them all. I just don't know. When you're drafting, just see who falls to you. I'm not opposed to any of them. Any one of them could break out, but I'm just not sure yet. So. Let's get into the tight end because we got to talk a little bit about our boy Loveland with Komet. Now, Loveland, let me start with Komet. Position ranked 31, 230 in ADPs. That's a 10th round. Right now, he is the starter, and that's because Loveland, who's position ranked 15, 144, you've got to give him in the 12th, has been out, right? He's coming off surgery, hasn't been able to participate, been doing some lifting, not heavy lifting or anything like that. But what are your thoughts on this tight end duo in Chicago?
Komet definitely seems, again, kind of similar to the Packers. Komet definitely seems like your more traditional inline, where Coulson is a freak when it comes as your out wide, your traditional Y. Just crazy in-cut breaks. The national championship here, he was just torching dudes. So Komet, a couple of years he finished as the tight end 7, and last year tight end 18. It kind of feels like he maybe doesn't have that rapport with Caleb. A little bit. He still did play those 17 games, and his production was almost cut in half. I don't love either. I think Coulson's going to be a pretty late breakout. Same with Tyler Warren on the same situation. I think they're going to break out a lot later, maybe year 2, maybe year 3. Again, Matt already mentioned he has a shoulder issue that he's been dealing with since the combine, had surgery, so he might be a super, super late breakout, maybe week 14, 15, 16.
Yep, agreed. The earliest I would see him is mid-season breakout guy. I want to. I'd love to get Loveland on the show, get Colston on the show, and just talk just because from the 208, but just his point of view. But we'll see how we'll something to work on, I guess. But I like him. We all love him. We want him to succeed. We want him to do well. From a fantasy standpoint, just temper your expectations right now. We'll see how this plays out. You guys agree, disagree with what we've got presented today? Leave a comment. We want to hear from you guys. That's how we get better. We want your guys' feedback. That's the beauty of fantasy football. Everybody's right and everybody's wrong, and everybody has an opinion. We just like to talk about it. So appreciate Fan Man and Bob Swede for joining. Burley popped in too. Thank you guys for just leaving comments, and we're catching those. But again, we are here to make you better at fantasy football, and love talking ball. Want you to win. Any final thoughts, Justin, before we peel out of here today?
Like I said, this division, there's a realistic path for all 4 teams to win this division. Like I wholeheartedly believe that. I feel bad for Matt because it's just a really tough division to play in. It's going to be super competitive, super fun to watch how the Lions develop. Will Caleb make that jump? What is JJ McCarthy? Is Kevin O'Connell just a QB whisperer? And the Packers, is Jordan Love going to get back to that that top 5 ranking that he was a couple years ago? Yeah, it'll just be interesting to see how this division turns out. It'll be a lot of high-profile games that I think a lot of people will watch.
Yep, love it. Thanks for tuning in tonight, guys. We will see you next week, and we have the NFC East. That'll be a fun one. All right, guys. It's been awesome. From this time until next time, we'll see you next time. Later.